You think your car is private, but what if it's not? What if the same place where you make phone calls, talk to your family, vent after work, or have conversations you would never say in public, is no longer just a car? Modern vehicles don't just drive anymore, they collect data. And most people have no idea how much information their car may be gathering. This is not about fear, this is about awareness. Because your car has changed. It is not just an engine, four wheels, and a steering wheel. Your car is becoming a smartphone on wheels. It has microphones, cameras, sensors, GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, apps, voice assistants, driver monitoring systems, cloud-connected software. And all of that creates data, a lot of data. Now think about how people treat their car. For many people, the car feels like one of the most private places in their life. You drive alone, you talk freely, you answer phone calls, you speak to your spouse, you talk business, you complain, you laugh, you argue, you think out loud. You feel like nobody is listening because you are inside your own vehicle. But modern cars are no longer isolated machines, they are connected systems. And that changes everything. When you use a voice command in your car, when you say something like, call John, navigate home, play music, find the nearest gas station, that voice command may not stay inside your car. In many vehicles, that command can be processed through software, sent to servers, analyzed, stored for system improvement, or used to make the assistant more accurate. Now, to be clear, this does not mean every car is secretly recording every word you say 24 hours a day. That is where people often exaggerate, and exaggeration is dangerous. But here is the real issue. Even if your car is not recording everything all the time, it can still collect more data than most people realize. And the average driver does not read the privacy policy. They just click accept. They connect their phone, they turn on Bluetooth, they activate navigation, they use voice commands, they agree to connected services. And little by little, they create a data trail. Where you drive, how fast you drive, how hard you brake, how often you accelerate, where you park, what routes you take, what devices connect to the car, what apps you use, and in some cases, voice interaction data. This is the part most people miss. The car is not just transporting you anymore, it is observing how you use it. And companies call this data. But to you, it is your life. Your routines, your behavior, your locations, your habits, your patterns. And once that data leaves your vehicle, most drivers have no idea where it goes. It may go to the car manufacturer. It may go to software providers. It may go to connected service partners. It may be shared for analytics. It may be used to improve features. It may be used for marketing. And depending on the policy, some data may be shared with third parties. That is why the privacy policy matters. Not because people love reading long legal documents. Nobody does. But because those documents explain what you are agreeing to, and most people agree without understanding. This is the legal loophole in the dashboard. The consent does not always feel like consent. Sometimes consent looks like clicking accept. Sometimes it looks like connecting your phone. Sometimes it looks like using the app. Sometimes it looks like turning on a connected service. And sometimes you do not even realize which settings are already turned on. Data sharing, voice recognition, personalized services, location history, diagnostics, driving behavior. Most people never check those menus. They just drive. And that is exactly why this topic matters. Because the problem is not always the technology. The problem is that people do not understand the trade. Convenience for data, safety for monitoring, personalization for tracking, voice commands for voice processing. And every time technology becomes easier, privacy usually becomes more complicated. Think about your phone. At first, people thought phones were just for calls. Then they became cameras, then maps, then wallets, then personal assistants, then tracking devices. Cars are going through the same transformation. First, the car was just transportation. Then came GPS, then Bluetooth, then apps, then voice assistants, then driver monitoring, then over-the-air updates, then AI features. And now the car is becoming part of the data economy, a machine that moves you physically while collecting information digitally. That is why some people call modern cars smartphones on wheels. Because just like your phone, your car can know where you are, what you do, how you behave, and how often you repeat the same patterns. Now imagine this. You are driving home after work. You are tired. You take a call. You talk about money. You talk about stress. You mention where you are going. You maybe talk about health, family, problems, plans. Most of that conversation may never be recorded, but the system around you is still capable of collecting different types of information. Location, timing, driving behavior, connected devices, voice command usage, app interaction. That alone can say a lot. And this is the important part. Privacy is not only about one conversation. Privacy is about patterns. One data point may not mean much, but thousands of data points over months or years can create a detailed picture of your life. Where you go, when you leave, where you work, where you shop, how often you travel, how safely you drive, whether you drive late at night, whether you brake aggressively, whether you speed. That information has value, and where there is value, there is always a business model. This is where the invisible data pipeline begins. Data can be collected, organized, analyzed, shared, sold, or used to build profiles. Sometimes, companies say the data is anonymized. That means your name may be removed, but anonymized does not always mean harmless, because behavior can still be unique. Your routes, your timing, your habits, your connected devices, your patterns. Together, they can still point back to a real person. And this is why privacy experts worry about connected cars. Not because every vehicle is evil, not because every company is spying on you, but because the system is becoming more powerful than most drivers understand. And the average person is not given a simple explanation. They are given a long privacy policy, technical settings, legal language, and an accept button. That is not real awareness. That is confusion. And confusion benefits the system. Because when people do not understand what is being collected, they do not know what to turn off. They do not know what to question. They do not know what they are giving away. And this is where your car becomes the silent passenger. It may not speak. It may not warn you. It may not tell you what is happening in real time. But behind the screen, behind the microphone, behind the connected services, data may be moving from your car to the cloud, to the company, to partners, to systems you never see. And once data enters that ecosystem, you usually lose control. You cannot see every copy. You cannot track every partner. You cannot know every future use. That is why privacy should not be treated like a small setting hidden in a menu. It should be clear, it should be simple, and it should be easy to control. Now, some people will say, I don't care, I have nothing to hide. But privacy is not about hiding something wrong. Privacy is about having control over your own life. You close your curtains at night, not because you are doing something illegal, but because your personal space belongs to you. Your car should feel the same way. If you want to share data for better features, that should be your choice. If you want voice commands, that should be your choice. If you want connected services, that should be your choice. But choice only matters when people understand what they are choosing. And right now, most drivers do not. So what can you actually do? First, go into your car settings. Look for privacy, data sharing, connected services, voice assistant, personalization, location history. Turn off anything you do not need. Second, check the app connected to your vehicle. Many modern cars have mobile apps. Those apps may collect location, usage data, vehicle status, and account information. Review the permissions. Do not give access unless you need it. Third, be careful with voice commands. If you are discussing something sensitive, do not assume the car is completely private. Again, that does not mean panic. It means be aware. Fourth, read the privacy policy in simple terms. You do not have to read every legal word, but look for key phrases: data sharing, third parties, voice data, location data, driving behavior, marketing partners. Those words matter. And fifth, ask better questions before buying a car. Not just, how fast is it? How many miles per gallon? How big is the screen? Ask, what data does this car collect? Can I turn it off? Does it share data with third parties? Does the voice assistant send audio to the cloud? Can I use the car without connected services? These questions should become normal. Because the future of cars is not only about horsepower, it is about data power, and the companies that control the data may know more about drivers than drivers realize. This is not science fiction. This is not some distant future. This is already happening. Cars are getting smarter, AI assistants are getting better, sensors are becoming more advanced, and software is becoming the center of the vehicle. That brings benefits: better safety, better navigation, better maintenance, better emergency response, better convenience. But every benefit has a trade-off, and the trade-off is data. So the question is not, should cars have technology? Of course they should. Technology can save lives, it can help drivers, it can make transportation better. The real question is, who controls the data? The driver, the manufacturer, the app, the cloud provider, the data broker, the insurance company? That is the question we should be asking. Because if your car knows where you go, how you drive, when you drive, and how you interact with it, then your car is no longer just a vehicle. It is part of your digital identity. And once something becomes part of your digital identity, you need to understand it. Not fear it, understand it. That is the message. Your car is not automatically your enemy. AI is not automatically bad. Connected technology is not automatically dangerous. But blind trust is dangerous. Clicking accept without reading anything is dangerous. Assuming privacy still works the old way is dangerous. Because the world changed, and most people did not notice. We used to ask, is my car reliable? Now we also have to ask, is my car respecting my privacy? That is the new reality. Some people will see this as progress, others will see risk. But the smartest people will see both. They will use the technology, but they will not blindly trust it. They will enjoy the convenience, but they will check the settings. They will use AI, but they will understand what they are giving away. That is the difference between fear and awareness. Fear says, throw away the technology. Awareness says, learn how it works, control what you can, and pay attention to what you agree to. So the next time you sit behind the wheel, remember this: your car may feel private, but it is also connected. And connected things collect. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. Because the future is not just driving toward us. We are already sitting inside it. Stay informed, stay aware, stay ahead.